So I know I draw a lot of parallels between basketball and football on this channel, and I understand that could be a little bit weird if you are not a football fan, but I feel like it could really do a good job in explaining specific parts about basketball at times. And well, I'm just prefacing this because I'm going to do that for this video right now. First of all, I'd like to give you guys a huge shout out, man. Thanks to you guys, my YouTube channel has accumulated 7 million views over the past 2 months. That's 50% of what my channel has got over its lifetime, and my channel's been around for about 6 years. So from the bottom of my heart, guys, I really wanted to thank you all for the support. To pretty much give back to you guys, I am doing a huge giveaway for NBA 2K20 on my Instagram page. I'm going to leave that in the description down below, and as soon as I announce a winner for that giveaway, I'm going to be announcing multiple more. Now, let's get on to this video. Joe Johnson has been the story of the summer, and for good reason. He has really been showcasing his skills in the Big 3 League. And honestly, the parallel I want to draw here is football fans would remember back in spring, about 5 months ago, a new league formed. It was called the Alliance of American Football, the AAF. It was a startup football league, and pretty much their goal was to give football fans some football to watch in the spring, which I personally was really hyped about, and 2, give the college flameouts that really didn't have an opportunity to really show off their skills a development league to show NFL rosters what they could do. And we saw a lot of players that were either former NFL players that never really made it in the NFL, like Trent Richardson, a top 3 pick, Johnny Manziel. We saw them in the AAF, but unfortunately the league folded after a few weeks, mainly due to insufficient funds and poor investments and a poor infrastructure. And I see a very similar niche being carved here by the Big 3 League. And I honestly really like the Big 3 League, though I'm not much of an avid viewer myself. And we really saw this go on this past season. So for those of you guys that don't know what the Big 3 League is, it's a league that mainly caters to retired NBA players. Instead of playing on a full basketball court, they play on a half court because, well, the players are a little older and they can't really run back and forth. And the first team to score 50 points, it's a 3-on-3 league, wins. They have some pretty interesting stipulations as well, because there's actually a 4-point shot in the Big 3 League. And this gives an opportunity to players such as Joe Johnson, who absolutely lit up the Big 3 League after being out of the NBA this past season. Personally, I don't really like reaching in my videos, but I do like giving you guys food for thought in my videos. So if you guys watch the Big 3 League, Joe Johnson literally just sunk an incredible game winner to win the Big 3 championship. Prior to this, Joe Johnson was out of the league. He was last seen on the Houston Rockets, and he was playing for them for the 2018 season, and the year after he was completely out of basketball for about a year. I don't think we should really gas that up too much, but in March of 2019, he decided, hey, I was out of the league this past year. Let me sign to play with the Big 3. Now, bear in mind, man, Joe Johnson is really old. He's about 38 years old. He's been in the league since the 2001 to 2002 season. He's been in the league for quite some time, but the crazy thing is he has always been a fairly productive player. His game, if you guys aren't really familiar with it, is very similar to Carmelo Anthony's in the sense that he's a very ISO ball heavy player, although I don't really think that he sucks up the offense as much, although he does have the nickname ISO Joe Johnson. He actually has had some pretty terrible nicknames throughout his career. When he was with the Atlanta Hawks, he got signed to a gargantuan contract, a gargantuan max contract. And all right, just to give you an idea of what the gargantuan max contract was, it was a 6-year $123 million contract back in 2010. So I want you to imagine that. So that also gave him the nickname as the contract. But I feel like at this point, he's just playing just because he really wants to play, just because he has a huge passion for the game. And he really showed off what he could do and his skills in the Big 3 League. And honestly, what I think he can contribute to a team is, one, any team that needs scoring off the bench, I feel like Joe Johnson's your guy. If you want a player who could pretty much fulfill a similar role that Carmelo Anthony can, although he's more of a 3 than a 4, which Carmelo Anthony's more of a modern day stretch 4. Although Joe Johnson's 6'7", he could also play the 4 position. You will go to ISO Joe. Now, the reason I'm making this video is there's one really interesting thing I saw after he hit his game winner in the Big 3 League. And you know what? I'm just going to let it play for itself. Take a look at this. So if you take a look at this, you see that in the very front of the Big 3, in the very front of Ice Cube's startup league, is none other than Mr. LeBron James. So I'm gonna preface this, I don't like reaching, but every single time LeBron James goes to games like this, he has an agenda. If you remember when Lonzo Ball was a rookie, LeBron James showed up at Summer League. And when he showed up at Summer League, a lot of people were wondering, they started, in my opinion, reaching and saying, hey, is LeBron planning a move to the Lakers? He's also looking at schools in Los Angeles. I feel like LeBron James is going to go there after he leaves Cleveland. And then again, this could all be speculation, but you could also make the argument LeBron went to a couple of Zion Williamson's games this past season, so I don't really think he's planning on joining the Pelicans, although the Lakers were lottery players, so maybe he was just doing his homework in the event that the Lakers got the #1 pick, or maybe he just wanted to see greatness. You know, Zion Williamson is the next great generational talent. I would want to scope him out and potentially offer mentorship if I'm LeBron James, but I feel like here he has an agenda. We all know what's happening with DeMarcus Cousins recently. Poor guy. He tore his ACL 2 to 3 weeks ago. And then on top of that, he got into this disgust. I made a video of both of them. He got into this argument with his baby mama. And his baby mama recorded him threatening her life, which personally, I know I made a video on this. I thought that was bait. I really think that the baby mama baited him into doing that just so she could potentially, I don't know, smear his name, because at the end of the day, I just feel like he just wanted his kid at his wedding. But that's, again, I made a video on this already. I'm not going to go too into this. So DeMarcus Cousins is trending downward. The Lakers just signed Dwight Howard, and they have filled all their slots, but theoretically speaking, they could either add DeMarcus Cousins to the injured reserve. I don't really know if the NBA does that, but on occasions I've seen instances where they've allowed a team to add a player to like a designated does not play injured reserve list, or they could cut DeMarcus Cousins in order to free up an additional slot. Now, personally, I just feel like a lot of people, you remember when I said a lot of people in the NBA like Carmelo Anthony? A lot of people in the NBA like DeMarcus Cousins. They really feel for what's happened to him over the past 2 years. And it's just getting worse and worse. And this guy is really hitting bottom, although he recently got married. And I really feel like his mental character has to be incredible, because I would be personally going, I would not know how to handle what he's going through. So first of all, a huge shout out to DeMarcus Cousins. He has an incredible mental character for being able to deal with what has been thrown at him recently. But could it be possible that the Lakers would consider cutting DeMarcus Cousins to bring in Joe Johnson or bring in some scoring? Could it be that the reason why LeBron James was at the Big 3 League was to scout out Joe Johnson? Or do you think, nah, Mike, you're reaching here? I would like to hear your opinion up in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, because again, I make these videos to stimulate thought, to stimulate discussion. This could be a reach, or I could have been privy or woke towards something. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, because I would like to hear what you have to say.